I'm either going to succeed, create true wealth, true freedom, and true impact, or I'm going to die trying. One of the most useful mindset shifts, ideas to analyze decisions, direction in life, long-term outcomes, goals, is it seems so terribly simple, and there's so much value here, but there's actually a whole lot to unpack behind what it takes to make this mindset shift. And that is scarcity versus abundance. When you're thinking in scarcity terms, you're always trying to protect yourself. You're making sure that you don't run out of money that month, that year. You're making decisions based on having a very limiting belief and limited access to resources, to success. When you're moving in a manner of abundance, you feel nothing but opportunity everywhere, and these things, you just see people who have made it in a major way, and success, finance, everything they want, it's attracted to them, it comes to them. And this is something really wild that I've been struggling with a little bit. I've had a lot of major wins over the last 4 years, major progress. I'm making it, I'm winning, but I have not won. I have not made it. And I'm recognizing how this seems so simple. I can just, hey, let me just think in matters of abundance versus scarcity. But it doesn't work like that. When you actually shift into a mindset of abundance, it's because you have done the things that create that abundance. You have proven to yourself over and over and over again that you're going to do the things you say you're going to do. You're going to get up early, you're going to work out, you're going to stop drinking, you're going to eat right. I've done all these things, and I started my own business. I'm making good money. Haven't made my first $1 million. Just walked away from an 8,000 follower YouTube channel to start this one with 40 right now. But I'm deeply convicted in my belief that I'm moving in the right direction. I'm going to have an impact. I'm going to create my own freedom. How does this apply to you? Well, I guess I'm going to keep talking in terms of my situation here to help explain it, because that's the best thing I've got to go on, and I want to bring you along on this journey to see how this drunken, defeated, addicted, divorced, pear-shaped, skinny fat loser version of myself has turned into someone who's fit, who is self-employed, who continues to do amazing things. But there is a process. This doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a few months. It took over 3 years before I really started feeling that this was all part of my identity, and I want to help you guys find that first step, and then the second step, and the third step, to get from where you're at right now to where I'm at. And by the time you make it to here, you'll see what I did over the next following 3 or 4 years to get to the next place. There is going to be a lot of progress that I show you throughout this. So, scarcity versus abundance. I just made a big life decision. There are going to be other videos on this channel about a lot that I had found up in the mountains. I have a background living in a ski town. I've lived in the mountains for 7 years in Colorado, 9 out there in Colorado total. Found this beautiful, perfect lot. By the time I was ready to pull the trigger last time, it had gone off the market. I thought it had sold. It was $8,500 with water, and almost no building restrictions or rules. It's just an acre, right next to the Great Sand Dunes National Park, within an hour of 2 ski slopes, and right next to my favorite hot spring and several other hot springs. And it's just exactly what I want for my life. This lot went off the market. I just went back to life, kept working, and I found a 36-acre lot out there. Would cost a lot more money. It was going to cost another $20,000, $30,000 to put a well on it. I'd be over $60,000 into it. On the side of a mountain, beautiful view over the valley, same location. That is the dream and the goal, to be able to build my little self-reliant homestead, to be self-reliant with my content and everything that I'm going to build out of this. And I finally got to the point. My credit score is over 800. I'm making good money. I could easily finance that land. And at the same time, of course, my family sells a home and has access to a good amount of liquid cash. This is summer of 2025. Crypto week was a couple weeks ago. The way global finance is working is, the value of the US dollar is diminishing quite a bit. If they just sit on that money in the bank and have it in a really low interest, low return investment like CDs, it's going to bleed a lot of its value. So now all of a sudden my interests and theirs line up. They were going to set me up with a 6% APR loan to buy all this land. So their assets, a portion of that home sale is now backed by an actual asset that holds value. They're getting a better return on investment, better return than the cash sitting in CDs would make, right? This is everything that I've wanted. We talked, we're ready to go. We can get the funds, we can get the well. And I just took 15 minutes, 20 minutes to myself. Took a shower, did a little thinking, and realized, yes, this is everything that I want, but the timing is wrong. And if, when I wanted it, when I was thinking of acting, I'm worried about protecting future wealth for myself, for my family, to be able to set myself up to support them, because I believe, Medicare, Social Security, value of the dollar, all this stuff, they're not going to be in the place that I believe they had set themselves up to be by being wise long-term investors in their 401ks and doing what the boomers do. I'm concerned that by the end of their lives, they're not going to be set in the manner that they expected. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. I don't even know how much money they have. I don't know about their investments. It's not my business. But I wanted to make sure that I can protect my own future wealth, as I know that the value, people who hold assets right now are going to come out a lot better through all these financial shifts than people who hold cash. And people who have nothing are going to be in really bad shape real soon. So I did some thinking, and I recognized if I buy the big, more expensive land on higher debt, I'm doing this because I'm scared, because of scarcity, because I don't believe that I'm going to succeed in the way I know I'm going to succeed, in the way I've proven to myself that I will see things through and produce the results I dream of and desire. And by having a bunch of extra debt, that means I have less freedom. Less freedom means less time to put my energy and creativity into talking to you, into telling these stories, into doing the travels. Check back soon. There's videos of me lifting weights with my mobile weight set on beaches, on islands in Florida, on the beach in California, on mountaintops in Colorado. There's so much meaning and purpose behind this, and a lot of cool, fun footage too. So if I get myself with big payments, now I have to keep figuring out how to make those payments. I have to limit my ability to travel. I have to give up more time, when it might only take me a few more months to really break through with some of these things I've been working hard on. I've been editing all these awesome adventure videos. I'm not ready to release them. I don't have enough traction yet with this channel. I'm still meeting you. I'm still teaching the algorithm who I am and what I'm about, and showing, people who take the time to listen to me and the algorithm that I'm actually worth giving a chance. I'm actually worth putting my videos out there in front of people, giving them the chance to click and listen to what I have to say. But I have 100% full faith and belief in myself that I'm going to just keep going, no matter how challenging it is, no matter how long until I get traction, and I'm just going to keep moving, and it will pay off. And that's the abundance, understanding the resource that's the most valuable to me is my time, my energy, my creativity, And if I have to trade a bunch of that energy and time to pay on debt for something that I want right now because I'm scared, because I don't believe that I'm going to make it, then I'm actually limiting, sorry, the truck's loud. I'm actually limiting the impact that I can have on the world. I'm actually limiting the conversations and the things that I can do, the things I can show you that are possible by living this amazing life of discomfort, of doing hard things, of creating good habits and seeing them through no matter what, of keeping promises to yourself, to ourselves, to myself, and just continuing to move forward. And for me, I've got 4 things. Never, ever drink again. Never drink again. I'm almost 2 years. I'm less than 2 months from 2 years without alcohol. So that's 1 of 4. Never drink again. Always work out. If I say I'm going to work out, I'm going to work out. I do these hour-long walks 7 days a week in the morning now because I burn more calories than wasting gas to drive to the gym to get on the elliptical, which I hate, and I get to talk to you in the mornings too. So I'm actually doing several valuable things, and I enjoy this. When I'm not talking to you, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm listening to music I like, and I'm burning more calories than I would, and I would have to trade valuable hours of my life for the gasoline that goes into the car just to drive to the gym. And if, because I need to work harder in a shorter amount of time there to keep my time productive, I get all sweaty. I got to take a shower in the morning and the evening. So I end up burning a lot more time, burning less calories, not having a conversation with you. So I just do these walks every day. I say I'm going to do it, I do it. If the weather's terrible, if it's thunder and lightning or hail, yeah, I'll go to the gym. But keeping these promises to us. Okay, so we had always never drink, always work out, always eat right, always keep creating. I do those 4 things. Is it going to take 4 more months or 4 more years? I don't know. But I know that I have something valuable to offer the world. And I know that as I offer this to the world and I help people and they see what I've done and what I'm doing and my message resonates, I'm going to create the freedom that I desire to be able to further build my life to where I can actually have my gatherings for men who I want to teach this amazing mindset I've found through discomfort, through good habits, through keeping promises to yourself. That's my dream and goal, to have this land, to be able to bring people out, to have gatherings, to show them the light that I've found, help them start their momentum, move their lives in the right direction, and recognize, I truly believe this, but I'm still battling with it, right? I truly believe I can do anything I want if I believe in myself. So the real battle is now, because I haven't yet produced all the results that I know I'm capable of producing, I'm still building that self-belief. And I'm just going to keep moving forward. And one of the really important things I've learned along this path is you just keep doing the same thing every day, whether things are great or terrible. You follow the same habits, you pursue the same goals, you produce the same results, work towards producing the same results. You keep moving forward, you don't deviate. I eat right every day. I've got all my stuff, all my meals, all my macros, everything's planned out. I might have a cheat meal on the weekend with my family, but even that cheat meal is super healthy. I just eat the fruits and the different things that don't always fit into my macros every day. I just eat healthy on my cheat meal. I just don't count the calories and macros. I feel like this maybe didn't come out as smooth as I was hoping, but that's great. The great thing, I can continue to talk and tell you about these things. Once I can, once you can, once we can look at the world with a true view of abundance and see there's nothing but opportunity. There's nothing but money and resources out there. For those of us who believe in ourselves, who don't let education, debt, jobs, TV, society limit our beliefs to think, well, hey, I got to go trade my time for money and I'm worth as much as somebody else says I'm worth. First, I got to run around begging them to sell my life to them one paycheck at a time, handing them my resume. I got a university degree. If anything, it's held me back in a lot of ways. Enjoyed the experience, but man, that's that's one of those things that really trained limiting beliefs into my mind. Education, preparing myself to trade time for money, trade money for stuff, buy a house on debt, be locked into that for 30 years. Now you have to keep trading your time for money because you don't have enough time to build something better. When really it just takes that true deep self-belief. And I'm either going to succeed, create true wealth, true freedom, and true impact, or I'm going to die trying. And just by continuing to keep these promises to myself, I continue to build and develop self-belief and confidence. And so I was very conscious in recognizing that just because I have the capability to do the thing I want to do right now doesn't mean it's the right thing to do right now. It could actually prevent me from 5 years down the road being in a place to have way more impact, creating way more content, generating way more profit. It could actually limit my freedom instead of create it. So, thinking on a level of abundance, I went with the 1 acre lot for $10,000 that gives me freedom, that allows me to continue to live beneath my means and dedicate my time, my energy, my emotions, my creativity to talking with you, to editing videos, to traveling, to shooting cool videos, to telling stories, to giving a message. Not being stuck in a position where I have to go out. If my freelance business were to go away, I've got a fallback. I can go make good money waiting tables and bartending. I head to the West, I hand people stuff, I get tips. There's a good hourly wage combined with the tips. It'd be sucky on its own, but I was doing this out in California for $16 an hour plus cash tips. I've done it in Colorado before. I was making $350 to $500 a day at the ski slopes, like 6-hour shifts, but it kicks your butt. I don't want to be in that environment. I don't want to do it, but I'll do what I have to do. So I've got a fallback, and I've got a way to get to these places because I've built myself a 4-wheel drive camper that I can travel and live in. I just need to be in places that have have good climate, which I've figured all this out. I've been doing this. I've spent almost 2 years traveling and living that way and making good money at places where so I've got the fallback. But I also know that if I keep moving forward, I keep producing results for this client, this group of businesses, I'll keep living the life that I want to live the best possible way while having to trade my time for money, while selling my services. The goal is to get away from that, but these people are amazing, and the job is awesome. Well, it's not a job. I work for myself, but I work for them. And the industries, I get to travel around and ride some of the biggest, baddest custom motorcycles and make videos about it. We do off-road motorsports. We manufacture things that go bang that I think I need to not talk about on this channel. We do custom painting, Cerakoting. We work on aircraft parts. We do all this cool stuff, and I just need to embrace and enjoy this moment. I'm still in a season of building. My last season was a season of adventure, a season of getting sober, a season of creating momentum, and a season of some real discomfort. The discomfort here is different. I have comfort, convenience, good income. I'm sober, I'm fit. There's a lot of things that are going really good. And at the end of the day, just got to keep moving forward with those 4 things. Never drink, always eat right, always work out, always keep creating. And that will pay off. And by keeping my resources and debt, keeping my resources available and my debt low, while having this piece of land to still fall back onto, that I can go out, live, work, camp, do what I want there on my own space. It's a sigh of relief. It's a feeling of relief knowing that I chose not to take on that debt, because I do believe in myself so deeply that instead of just getting this one 36-acre lot that is a good deal, is in the right place, has a beautiful view. It's everything that I want. But with the mindset of abundance, I recognize that in 6 months or 2 years, I'll be able to go out and choose whatever space I want, whatever lot I want. If I even really still want to be in this same community after I've built to that point. You know, there's a lot on the other side of the valley, backed up in the mountains with a little river that goes through it. Same size lot, and instead of $40,000, it's $165,000. It's even closer to the hot springs that I love. It's a more beautiful lot. It's got the river on it. And mindset of abundance, well, that's what I'm pursuing. Something like that versus grabbing the best deal that I can find while being spread thin and worried about debt. You know, I'm gonna just do this with cash in a couple years or a couple months or whatever it takes. But it's a struggle. I wasn't able to just say, oh, I need to think abundantly. I had to keep the promises to myself over and over again. I had to stop drinking. I had to continue my workouts and never miss them and get in great shape. I had to start over and begin an entirely new YouTube channel after I had 8,000 followers. It just made more sense to redo this. And I hope that you're able to start analyzing things between scarcity and abundance, but then recognize that it takes actions and results and consistency and discipline to actually live that life of abundance. And it's something I'm still working towards, to truly live the life that gives you, that allows you to deserve that mindset of abundance. I'm still moving towards it. I'm sharing my journey with you. I'll have this great video. Well, I don't know if this one's great. I'll have this stockpile of videos throughout my journey as I start putting out the cool travel and adventure videos and all the great scenic stuff. And over the years this builds, this content will be there so that we can look back and see, hey, this guy started somewhere really bad. This is him in the middle of the process, nearly 4 years into it. And then look where he ended up in 8 years or 10 years or 15 or 20. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. And it comes from consistently keeping habits to yourself and understanding what our perspective is and how those habits allow us to change that perspective. So go out and pursue your life of abundance. It starts with those good habits. Love you guys.